What if I told you that one single piece of paper being debated in Washington, D.C. right now could determine the future of your money? Not just your crypto investments. I'm talking about the dollars in your bank account. How you pay for groceries. How companies like Amazon and Walmart operate. This is the story of the Genius Act. And it's the most important financial legislation you've probably never heard of. Is it a stroke of genius that will finally tame the crypto Wild West and secure America's financial future? Or is it a Trojan horse for corruption and the next massive taxpayer bailout? Stick around, because we're about to break it all down. To understand the Genius Act, you first have to understand the problem it's trying to solve. For years, the crypto world has been a Wild West. Fortunes made overnight, and lost even faster. The biggest danger wasn't volatile coins like Bitcoin. It was something that was supposed to be safe, stablecoins. These are digital tokens pegged one-to-one to a real-world asset, usually the US dollar. Think of them as digital casino chips for the crypto world. But in 2022, the Terra USD stablecoin collapsed, wiping out over $40 billion in value. It turned out, it wasn't backed by real dollars. It was backed by, well, hope and complex algorithms. That collapse sent shockwaves through the entire system. And it proved what many feared: the $250 billion stablecoin market was a ticking time bomb, operating in a regulatory black hole. Consumers were unprotected, and the industry itself was desperate for legitimacy. So, they went to Washington. After one of the biggest lobbying sprees in recent history, the result is the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. Or, as they love to do in D.C., an acronym, the Genius Act. So, what does this bill actually do? In short, it tries to turn those sketchy casino chips into something more like a federally regulated digital dollar. First, it sets strict rules for who can issue a stablecoin. You can't just launch one from your basement anymore. You have to be a licensed bank subsidiary or a qualified non-bank that meets federal or state standards. Second, and this is the absolute core of the bill, it mandates a one-to-one reserve. For every digital dollar you issue, you must have one real dollar's worth of safe, liquid assets in the bank. We're talking cash or short-term US Treasury bills. No more risky commercial paper or magic internet money. Third, it bans issuers from gambling with your money. The reserves can't be lent out or reused. It's a lockbox. And fourth, it demands radical transparency. Issuers have to publish monthly, audited reports on their reserves. And the CEO and CFO have to personally sign off on them, facing jail time if they lie. Look at this. The change is night and day. We go from a world of voluntary, opaque promises to a world of mandatory, audited, and legally enforceable rules. On paper, it's a massive step towards making stablecoins genuinely stable. But the devil, as always, is in the details, in the politics. The Genius Act has sparked one of the fiercest fights in Washington, and it's not a simple Republican versus Democrat issue. It's a battle for the soul of finance. On one side, the proponents. They say this bill will secure America's financial dominance for the 21st century by making the digital dollar the global standard. They argue it unlocks innovation, allowing giants like Amazon and Walmart to potentially create their own payment systems, saving us all billions in credit card fees. They see it as a long overdue upgrade to our ancient payment rails, bringing real consumer protection to a dangerous market. But the opponents see a much darker picture. And their number one concern has a name: Donald Trump. Senator Elizabeth Warren has called this bill a superhighway for Trump's corruption. Why? Because while the bill bans members of Congress from profiting off stablecoins, it has a glaring loophole: that ban does not apply to the president. And it just so happens that a crypto firm linked to the Trump family, World Liberty Financial, has its own stablecoin. In 2024, Trump reportedly earned over $57 million from its token sales. Critics say this bill would use the power of the US government to supercharge the value of the president's own financial products. The second major fear? Big tech. the bill could open the door for companies like Meta or Google to issue their own private currencies, eroding the historic line between banking and commerce and giving them unprecedented power over our financial lives and data. And finally, the scariest argument of all, the bailout boogeyman. Legal experts warn that the bill messes with bankruptcy law. It gives stablecoin holders super priority to get their money back. Sounds good, right? But it puts them ahead of the lawyers and administrators needed to clean up the mess of a failed company. This could make an orderly shutdown impossible, creating so much chaos that the government would be forced to step in with taxpayer money to prevent a systemic crisis. Okay, enough politics. What does this actually mean for the market and for you as an investor? First, get ready for the great stablecoin reshuffling. This bill is tailor-made for US-based, regulated stablecoins like Circle's USDC. It's a huge problem for offshore, less transparent ones like Tether, or USDT. We could see a massive flight to safety, with billions moving from USDT to USDC as institutions demand regulatory compliance. Second, for Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is likely a short-term positive. Markets hate uncertainty. Passing a major piece of legislation, even an imperfect one, removes a huge regulatory cloud and could give the whole market a boost. But the biggest impact is what happens next. If Walmart and Amazon really do launch their own stablecoins, it could be the beginning of the end for the credit card system as we know it. Imagine bypassing Visa and Mastercard entirely. That's a multi-trillion-dollar disruption. Ultimately, the Genius Act will likely create a two-tiered crypto market. You'll have the green zone, a regulated, US-centric, institutional-grade market for compliant tokens like USDC. And you'll have the gray zone, the less regulated, global, more Wild West market where tokens like USDT will continue to thrive. Investors will have to choose which world they want to play in. So, is the Genius Act truly genius? The honest answer is, it's a monumental gamble. It's an attempt to drag a chaotic, innovative technology into the regulated world. It holds the promise of making digital payments faster, cheaper, and safer, all while strengthening the US dollar. But it's also riddled with political landmines and legitimate fears. Fears of corruption at the highest level, of handing too much power to big tech, and of setting the stage for the next financial crisis. The bill has passed the Senate and now heads to the House. Its final form is still uncertain. But one thing is clear, the financial world is about to change, and the Genius Act is holding the pen. What do you think? Is this the future of finance, or a disaster in the making? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the forces shaping your financial world.